you just look at it like this. If you applied a little common sense in the right manner, I think that the people could get her done, and we don't have to bother with all that other stuff. And I haven't found a person yet that don't go for that. You can put that into out of hillbilly into normal speaking terms or however you like. I use hillbilly because there's a lot of rednecks up here, and it's kind of fun to play with the language. The thing that I'm seeing is that there is a lack or maybe even a fear of actually reaching out to somebody else. Well, you can do that at a distance. That's called speaking. That way you don't have to be within range or something, or, you can keep your comfort zone. But there's always an issue or question or something that can lead to a combination of not only that person, but the one that you talked to a few minutes before. After you talk to them for a few times, then you start exchanging names and phone numbers, and you go from there. And when you start that, and they find out that something can really, something really beautiful can happen, and at that point, everything blossoms. So the thing that everybody could look at, and this is a humorous take. There's this fat guy that's on the Country Channel, and he says, "Get her done." Yeah, well, that's it in a nutshell. Get it done. What does it take to do that? Is a lot of people's question. Well, fresh veggies is a good idea. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It also combines people together, etc. And you can have anybody do that. I found that West Virginia, the state of West Virginia, the state of Florida, and a couple of others are looking at implementing what's called fresh food, and they're trying it out in the school system, and it's a hit. Well, they're not charging for the school lunch. Well, according to, if you look at this closely, the tax level that is pumped into the educational system that doesn't give us an education, I think should at least feed us. So I'm not altogether against the free lunch idea in that respect. The thing that's neat, they'll put the McNuggets and grease burgers and whatever out there, and the kids are going for the salad bar. They know what they want. My kids would love to just, dip fresh veggies. You can make popcorn, and it can be healthy for you if you do it correctly. Air pop it, that's preferable. The idea is to share something of yourself with another person so they know you're for real. And when they realize that you're for real, they'll share back. At that point, then you have what is called a twofer. Well, each one of them gets another one, and then you got more, and it grows.
Drake?
Yes.
Drake, what about doing something like I do and have been doing for some time? When I move into a new neighborhood or I notice a bunch of people, new people moving into the neighborhood, I put together a block party, and this can be even done in apartment complexes. Get to know your neighbors.
Yeah, try a potluck.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Have a potluck. You'll be surprised how many people will actually show up to something like that. I mean, it literally blew my mind.
Start a barbecue. There's a whole bunch of different ways. And nothing is basically off limits in terms of reinitiating what's called a people orientation. Now, one of the things I'm going to mention is farmers markets. These things are now becoming prolific. Almost every city's got one because it's cool to go down and get fresh veggies that the farmer just brought in instead of the 2-week-old or 2-week-old thing at the grocery. And I found something out. Some of the grocery stores understand this, and they're opening up booths so they can make some of the money that's going around. Very, very simple. I mean, as things catch on, you'll find that we the people are the source of just about everything that is cool that comes around. Until people understand that fully and that they have access to it, that somebody might actually help them with something or do something for them. Or, hey, I got an extra one of those. You want it? That sort of thing. Anything. Wow, who made the barbecued ribs at this cookout? Or, wow, Deatri, you got the best potato salad I ever had, or whatever the deal might be. It can be anything.
Little. Yeah, it's just something little.
Yeah.
I mean,
could I do a little quality control? Oh, sorry.
Sure, go ahead.
Last night I read on a website, and it's a disinfo agent, and he's spreading bad information. And I'd like for Drake, he was clearing it up in the chat room, and I'd like to give him an opportunity. There's still people trying to instill fear and saying about the nuclear bombs going off and you're going to have to leave your country or something like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, David Wilcock is a guy that I've interviewed with and talked to. I sort of consider him a friend. And one of the things he expressed to me recently in a little interview talk that we had with some other people was that he was going to do an article on divine intervention. Now, I'm going to give some examples, and you're not going to find these unless you got a real high security clearance, but it's very simple. The supposed angels, now, I'm going to use that word because it fits whatever, have basically stated through people they supposedly are talking through, that ain't going to happen. Well, I sort of took that as rumor. Then a friend of mine who works with the Nuclear Defense Agency got in touch with me not too long ago and asked me just where I got the information I had put out on a certain show. I said, what do you mean? Well, now, I heard that our nuclear weapons in California wouldn't work at all, and you're telling this stuff on the radio? Where'd you get that information? I said, I just heard it as a rumor. Apparently it must be true, or you wouldn't be calling me. Well, what happened was, quite simply, if you get some nut in the right place who has the codes, they can fire a nuclear weapon. The only problem with that is that these angels have a tendency to say, you're going to have a computer problem right now when you push that button. Well, they push the button and nothing happens. All the lights are on, everything's functioning correctly, it just don't work. And then the guy says, well, okay, maybe there's something disconnected. He goes out in the missile silo and takes a look. The warhead's gone. I don't know how they do that. I don't really care. I just think it's cool that they have been told no, that this will not happen and you ain't allowed to do this. I call it divine intervention. There was a case, another one, where you had approximately 2 battalions opposing each other, locked, loaded, ready to go, rifle on the shoulder. The order was given to fire, and the only thing you heard was an extraordinary amount of click. Not one weapon fired. I'm sorry, but there's a thing called odds, and I definitely would not want to play in that card game. That is definitely a stacked deck. I don't know who, don't care. As long as it happens, I'm happy with it. So, forget leaving the planet. Forget all the ring around the rosy that is disinformation, that's some outright lies. Look at the situation you're in and think about what's been going on. Some people have been trying to start a nuclear World War III over in the Middle East for a while now, and they just can't seem to get it off the ground. Now, I don't know if somebody's pulling the plug on people over there or what's going on, but it would seem to me, and from some of the contacts I have, very strange things have happened. If they want to send a message to fire, the message don't go any further than a microphone. But it works just fine for every other word spoken. So I have seen one thing happen in my life that sort of puts this all in perspective. When you're in a foxhole and Mother Earth is shaking and death is flying all around making all kind of strange screams and noises and explosions and whatnot, I have seen the biggest, baddest, toughest of them all. And each and every last one of them are praying at that point. So that means that they believe that the only thing that can help them is something beyond themselves. And I simply accept that. Anybody can believe anything they want, and I don't have a problem with that. I would love to see the peacefulness that is being offered to the planet by having a Christian praying to God in his way in front of an effigy of Christ, say, on the cross, and a Muslim next to that man on his prayer mat praying to Allah. What you got to remember is this. if you go back, and everybody needs to do their own homework on this, if you really want to know, you go and do some research, and you will find the further back you go, the less divisions you've got in belief systems. If you go far enough back, it refers to a singular belief system. Now, everybody has their own ideas. Man likes to think he's top dog. Consequently, he's got a lot of ideas about everything, God and everything else, how you should be. You've got the government telling you you can't plant a garden. You plant that garden and it's illegal, and we'll come tear it up. And they will show up with people armed and ready to go. Or you're selling raw milk. Ooh, you're a terrorist, and you're treated as such. All this stuff needs to be changed. 2 ways to do that. One way's already been completed. The other is community projects, the locality. Get the people together and work at it. I'm done.
Okay, alien invasion. We've been hearing about Project Bluebeam for years, and that they're staging a fake alien invasion, and there's some people that are saying, we're going to take you into inner Earth and transport you, and blah-blah-blah. Is there going to be an alien invasion? Would it be allowed?
No, first of all. Secondly, Bluebeam was trash canned several years ago because too many people found out about it and knew certain things that would expose it for what it was as it happened. So they decided that wasn't too cool to drop their drawers in public. So no, that ain't happening. Next question.
The Pope is resigning in 2 days.
Who is?
The Pope.
I'm not real sure as to the exact timetable, but I have heard official reports from Europe that is true, that he is resigning. The reason he is resigning is because he's due to be adjudicated for crimes. Some of those crimes most people are aware of have shown up in the news, dealing directly with the church. There are other crimes that are much more serious even than the ones that everybody knows about that have been going on for years with the Pope's permission. Consequently, he is a part of those who will be adjudicated as a criminal simply because he did not follow what he was told to do according to what the book says, and he I'm not going to say anymore. I might say a word that can't be broadcast.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there because that should satisfy people so that they don't live in fear and can start focusing on their community projects and getting involved. So Drake will bring you back next week. Thank you so much for everything that you do.
You're very welcome, and I look forward to being back.
Thanks, you're awesome. And I love your chair. I want to bring Anita back for a moment. Anita, we have a conference call on Saturday, and people are probably sitting there thinking that they'd like to start up their community project. How would they go about that, and can you expand on it?
Yeah, and Deatra can as well. It's on the freedomreigns.us website. You go to that website. Then there is a link at the top that says the county project. And we had one, and you can actually go and listen to it. We had one, and we're going to have another one this Saturday, April 21st. The details and the information and the code is everything on that site, freedomreigns.us. And we're going to talk about establishing your own wiki page. Now, if someone has, and you can jump in here too, because I know you have a lot of web experience. And did you get a chance to look at the wiki program to see if you think that that's more user friendly than others?
I've actually been posting it in the chat room, and I'm going to do it again so that other people can look at it and play around with it and get knowledgeable about it, and it looks very simple.
Doesn't it? I thought you might tell us that. I like hearing that from people who are more accustomed to more advanced programs, because that helps us overcome this obstacle is, well, I don't know how to have a website.